Okay. Hi. My name is Arma Wilfred Villeneuve David. Remember you said to me, "You're just like the Bonhomme." Well, Mr. Wise Ass, if I'm like the Bonhomme like you say I am, I'm not responsible enough to look after Steve. I'm irresponsible. Well, if I'm so much like the Bonhomme and I'm irresponsible, and you're so perfect, David, even God is not perfect like you, right? Is that it? David cannot do any wrong. David is always right. Whatever I have to say, David, it doesn't matter to you. Whatever I do or did for the family, it doesn't matter. It doesn't touch you. It doesn't concern you. But I am David. I am perfect. What I say, I'm always right. Right, David? And what anybody else has to say, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm always right and everybody else is always wrong, and as long as I get what I want, when I want, whatever anybody else needs, that's including Steve, what he would need from you and from Denny, as I asked for. No, it's too much to ask for. Right? I got no time for that bullshit. Right, David? So if I'm so much like the Bonhomme, you're looking after Steve. Let's see if you're so much of a smartass now. You are very good to confront others. Like Jim, when you wouldn't confront Jim at Quebec. He was sitting in my truck. Remember? And the old lady was dying in the hospital. You went over to Jim and you say, "You got anything to say to me? You got anything to say?" And Jimmy was there. No, 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 no. No, no, I got nothing to say. Like Jimmy's a fucking low-life coward. He's a coward. But if somebody like me confronts you, oh, no, 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 no. Nobody's allowed to tell me what they think or what they feel or what they care about or what they want. Especially if it concerns Steve. No, 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 no. You cannot touch me. No, no. I must fight back and turn everything around in the other guy's face. So that way, I am perfect. Hey, David. And you talk like the world revolves around you. It doesn't, David. You're so used to getting your fucking way with people. Like people in the restaurants, people in the garage. No, no, no. I want you to get rid of that other car, and I want to be first. You want my business? I want to be now. Yeah. Remember? Remember you told me that, David. Hmm? And I'm sure you get your way with Bridget. Hey, Bridget. I hope you're listening, Bridget. How many times did David said to me on Skype at the time, Well, if I don't get my way, it's the highway. Right, David? You always get your way. You think you're going to get your way with me? You think I'm going to let you get away with you telling me I'm like the banam? That's the worst fucking mistake or the worst fucking thing you could ever say to me. I realized then I got no respect from you. I never did. You never respected me. What? Is it because you know deep inside of you I'm better than you? I am. Sure. Sure I'm better than you. The only difference between you and me, you got the moolah. That's it. You got the moolah and the big house and this and that. You should thank Bridget for that too. You ought to kiss Bridget's ass and say thank you. Because if it wasn't for her, you wouldn't have that, would you? And I'm sure you use Bridget like you use many people to get what you want. You manipulate people to get your way. And look, remember when you asked me for my card, my credit card? Oh, Donald, I would like you to, if you could, Donald, can you help me get my winter tires for my truck? There's a big special on, and when I get the money, I will pay you back. What did I say, David? I said, no problem. I went to see you right away, right? We went and checked. You didn't have it around your place. We came to Montreal. They didn't have it here. We went back to your Canadian Tire around your neighborhood. And they said when they get it, they're going to call you. And you said to me at the time, at the same time when you asked me the card, well, once I get my tires on, Donald, we're going to put your winter tires on. Right? Remember I told you when I last, well, not that when I last saw you, but when I went and see you the first time, with Steve showing up at your door, and we was talking, and I said, at least I keep my word. Your word is shit. Remember? Oh, you got pissed off. You cut me off right there on the conversation. Because I was going to mention about the tires. You never gave me the chance to say anything. And as I was saying, you said to me, as soon as I get my tires on, I will put your winter tires on. Right? You call me a few days later and say, oh, by the way, I won't need your card. I decided to put it so much a month. And don't tell Bridget you tried to help me. Right? But once you got what you wanted from me, David, and once you got your tires, did you ever call me up to put my winter tires on? No, you didn't. Did you keep your word? You did not. I suppose, David, you wanted me to run after you and kiss your ass for you to fulfill your word you said to me. Oh, when I get my tires, I'm going to put yours on. You never called me. Like I said, you wanted me to run after you and kiss your ass so you could put my winter tires on. It's a good thing I did not rely on you, because a week later I saw on the news there was a big storm coming. So it cost me about, you won't believe it, but it almost cost me $70 to put my fucking winter tires right here, right beside my place. I'd rather pay $500 for somebody to put my winter tires than for me to run after you so that you could put my winter tires for something you told me that you were going to do, right? Like I said, you wanted me to kiss your ass for it? No fucking way. Your word is no good. Right? Did you respect what you said? No, you didn't. And another thing, you never respect your word. Remember we had an arrangement after the old lady died about the card, not my credit card. The old lady's insurance money, the money was supposed to be in a bank and all that shit. And you called me up to ask me permission. Donald, you don't mind if I take everything that's left so that I could pay all my credit cards and end up with one credit card? What did I tell you, David? I told you, go ahead. I trusted you. You said, oh, you were happy about it. I said, okay. And you said to me, as soon as I sell my other chalet, I will put it back. Okay. I told you, no problem. I trusted you. But a couple of months later, I asked you about the money that was in the account. You were on a defensive. You said to me, I'm going to put it back next year. It's funny, David. See how you keep your word. How you are a hypocrite and a backstabber. At first you asked me for permission. After that, when you did put the money back, you never asked me the second time. What did you do with that money? I'm going to put it back next year. Huh? And as for you, Bridget, in case you didn't know, when David told me at first, he asked me for permission about the card, I told him, go ahead, pay your card, you'll end up with one card, that'll help you, go ahead, no problem. And David even said to me that he offered me the card, and Donald, if you want the card, I will leave you the card. In case you need money or anything like that, you could go inside the card anytime you want. In case you didn't know, Bridget, I refused it. I told David, I don't need a card. The card is only if I need it. In case a truck breaks down or something like that. But David told me, Bridget, that David talked to you about it. And you told David, laisse-y pas la carte, il va toutes les dépenser. Let me tell you something, Bridget. Who the fuck are you to judge me? Huh? Who the fuck are you? And besides, what the fuck did you ever do for Steven? Huh? Who the fuck are you to judge me? What, you think because I never had big money like that, I'm irresponsible? Fuck you. And that's another thing. Remember, David, when you walked in my house, I'm going to go back to that. You didn't let me finish the last time, did you? Because you didn't want to hear the fucking truth. Remember when you walked in my house And you said to me, you brought me the 1,005 that I wanted, that I needed, to pay for the other truck, which I was waiting 8 fucking months playing with the fucking card, so that way I knew I couldn't ask you, could you spend the whole fucking money on the second time? You know about that, huh? I thought about your fucking asses. And besides, when you came to my house, like I was saying, you walked in my house, you put the 1,005 where the TV is, and you said to me, be careful with the money. As I was going to say to you the last time, David, you didn't let me finish. You said, oh, it's Steve's money. I know it's Steve's fucking money. But I was just about to say, at the time, would you rudely cut me off like a fucking son of a bitch. Like I was going to say to you, when you said to me, be careful with the money. Who the fuck are you, David, to tell me to be careful with the money? With Steve's money, the old lady's money, or even my own money. Who the fuck are you to tell me that? Aren't you the guy that used to say to me all the time, how the fuck do you do it? You know, you always got money, you always got gas in the car, your fridge is always full, you always got money in your pocket, you go to the beach, you do all kind of stuff, you go boating with the gang and all that, and what little you have, how the fuck do you do it? And I told you at the time, and many times I told you when you used to say that to me on Skype and in person too, how the fuck do you do it? It's called being responsible, David. When you came here and said to me, oh, be careful with the money. If anybody should be careful with their own money, it's you, David. If you were so goddamn responsible with your money, you, David, would have not have to call me for my credit card, right? So that I could get your winter tires for you, right? Besides when I needed the money for the truck, every fucking credit card bill that I ever got, I think it's over 6 years I got it now. I got every fucking bill, and every one of them is cleared every fucking month. Everything. Can you say that? That's what you call being responsible, David. So don't you come in my fucking house and try to act like a big shot, telling me what to do and being responsible. Look after your own fucking money and be responsible with your own money. And you should have lay off what does not belong to you. You asked me the first time permission. The second time you did not. Oh, I'm going to put it back next year. Right? I thought you were a guy who keep his word. No, that's being called a hypocrite and a selfish prick. Right? See, you can't put yourself in my place because you are too self-absorbed. You act like the world revolves around you. And when I say that, and it's like I said before, you must have your way. Whatever you don't like must go. Like when you said to me when you walked through my house and all that, well, the reason I don't call you, I got no time for that bullshit. Remember we talked about that outside? And you cut me off. Huh, David? Oh, what? I'm going to spend a half an hour and this and that? Be waiting for me to give my message? I got no time for that shit. I don't give a shit. Just by saying that. See, just by saying that to me in front of your fucking doorstep, that just goes to show how self-absorbed and how you think the world revolves around you. Me, David, have no time for this bullshit. It doesn't matter if it's Donald's phone. What I put on my fucking answering machine is my fucking business. Until you pay my fucking bill, Mr. Big Shot, Mr. Almighty David. Until you pay my fucking phone bill, you got fuck all to say about it. And Mr. Wise Ass. Hey, Bridget, how would you like that if I walk in your place and do that? Huh, Bridget? I don't think you would like it very much. Maybe I should give it a shot. Huh? Where's the respect? Where's my respect? Huh? People must respect Mr. David. But David don't have to respect nobody. What sacrifice have you ever done for anybody but for your own ass? It's true, David. Remember I told you a few times, when the kids were very small, it was in the winter, you know what I'm gonna say. And the car fucked up on a voie de service by the Metropolitan. And I called you up to give me a hand in the fucking snowstorm. And the kids were little babies in the fucking car. I almost had to kiss your ass for you to move your ass for me. And you made me feel this small at the time. Okay. Like I was bothering you. But when David wants something from me, or from Denny, or from anybody, oh, it's got to be now. Oh yeah, it's got to be now. You must do it now. You are obligated to me because my name is David. Look, when you need to help them to dig the fucking hole, remember the hole in the back of your fucking house? You asked me to give you a hand. What did I say? Ah, no problem. Anytime you need me. So that's the way I am. I'm not a selfish prick. I don't make other people feel this small. I never forgot that day. And I never will. But when David wants something, David must have his way. But when it's time to do for others, it's fuck you. You don't see it. You're too self-absorbed. You're incredible. I thought Donald Trump was bad. You are a whole lot worse than Donald Trump. You remind me of the Bonhomme. When the Bonhomme used to say, when he used to live in the Montreal housing, they can't do nothing to me. I am a Villeneuve. Right? when he used to play the music full blast and people used to complain, oh, the Montreal housing cannot throw me out because I am a Villeneuve. You act exactly like the bonhomme, but even worse. So take a look in the mirror before you call me like the bonhomme. Just like I said before, if I'm so much like the bonhomme, I am not good enough to look after Steve. So the job is yours, Mr. King David. Oh, King Almighty David. I had to make this video. And when I went and see you to get the money for the car, I played a nice manipulating game. I saw in the video on YouTube was a guy with a little bit of my situation, with a brother just like you, self-absorbed and everything. Except the guy, what he did, which was his brother in the video. I have to find that video when they send it to you. Kind of almost like the same situation. His brother was self-absorbed. In order for him, the guy, to get what he needed and what he wanted, and to get payback in the future, he says, play the game. Give what his brother wanted. Like his brother wanted, like you. Wanted to kiss your ass. So I played the game. Manipulation. Oh yeah, I'm the asshole. I'm the asshole. It worked. You fell for it. You fell for it like that. I gave you what you wanted to hear. But the payback is, I made you wait a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, to think, oh, Donald apologized. I never apologized. Did I? No. I just said, oh, I'm the asshole. No, you're right. You are absolutely right, David. It's true what you said. You're right. I'm wrong. I'm the asshole. Right, Steve? I could have won an Academy Award for that. And a guy in a video says, why don't you do that? In the end, surprise him. For whatever reason you need to surprise him with, and shove the fucking reality in his face. When I saw that video, that made me realize, why not? So I went and see you and did the whole big show. I've been up for almost 3 days. It was easy to have a tear come down. It was all a con job to make you think that you win, that you got your way with me. Don't apologize. Which I didn't. That's just give me enough time to reflect on my decision, to give you what you really deserve. And what Steve been wanting for a long time. Your attention. And remember in April of 2016, when I went and see you about the money at first. Remember that? And I told you I've been waiting for 8 months. I've been fucking around and this and that. Go outside. And And after you said, "Oh, you understand? You'll get me the money." And after that, when I asked you, David, wouldn't it be nice that you would do your part, and then he would do his part once in a while? That's all I ever wanted, David. And and I mentioned that at your door, and at your door you were sitting on the step, remember? And you jump off your chair. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Yell and help? Yell for joy? You got mad when I said that? And when I asked you in 2016, wouldn't it be nice if you, and then you could do your part once in a while? And it's like I said to you at the door, in front of your door, with Steve sitting down beside you, and I said, that you would do your part, then he would do his part. And you didn't see, at the time in 2016, when I asked you that, right after I asked you for the money, 2005 and all that, you was like, yeah. Like it didn't seem too enthusiastic about it. And I figured, David, the reason why you did what you did when you came here on the first or the 2nd of May, when you brought me the money here, and what you did, the reason you did what you did here by disrespecting me, because you know the way I am, David. You know by disrespecting me and acting like an asshole, you acting like a fucking asshole. Walking like a big shot, here's the money. Yeah, be careful with the money. Which you knew I needed the money for. You knew damn well what the fucking money was for. I told you. What, you thought I was gonna buy video games and luxury for me? Are you that stupid? You knew damn well where that money was supposed to go. You knew damn well by telling me, oh, I got no time for that bullshit. That's why I don't call you. I got no time for that bullshit. You knew that was going to piss me off. You knew I was going to be pissed off at you. You did that by purpose, so that way you knew, David, I was going to be pissed off at you. So that way, you knew I was going to avoid you for a while. Because a month before I asked you, wouldn't it be nice that you can do your part and Denny too? You didn't seem to like it when I told you that. So you probably decided, well, when I do get that money, I'm gonna piss Donald off, so that way, me, David, I don't have to do my part with Steve, and I get away with it. That's exactly what I thought, and all those times. You came here to disrespect me, just so that you will not do your part with Steve. That's all I ever wanted, David. But it was too much to ask you, right? So you did it by purpose. You know it sets me off. It worked. And after I did get my phone back and all that, and then I realized, that's the reason he did it. He wanted me to be pissed off at him, so that way I'm going to ignore him, ignore everybody. So that way you don't have to do your part, and you got away with it. Instead of playing games like that, David, playing mind games, that you don't want to look after Steve or anything like that. You didn't have to play games like that here. That's the way I saw it. There's a reason the way I saw it is because the first year and a half, that right after the old lady died, remember right after the old lady wasn't even dead 24 hours, and I said to you on the phone, I was in Montreal, and I was on the phone with you, and I said to you, you know what, David, reality's going to hit, is going to hit me like a sledgehammer, that I'm going to be responsible for Steve. And don't remember what you said to me, David? Huh? Remember? You said to me, don't forget, you promised the old lady that you would look after Steve. Yeah. You know, you pissed me off when you said that. What do you care? I know what I promised. I promised that to the old ladies ever since I was this small. I kept my fucking word, did I? It's, you know, what? The way you said it, don't forget, you promised the old lady you would look after him. What, David? Were you so afraid that I would change my mind, David, and don't keep my word? So that way, you would have to look after him and do your fucking part for once in your fucking life? Think about it, David. What have you ever done for Steve? Besides let him swim in your fucking pool. Whenever you ever take him out, it's not too late. I must have pissed you off in 2016 when I asked you for the money, and after that I told you, like I said before, wouldn't it be nice to do your part? And I reminded you that on when I went to see you at your steps, and you were, and Steve was with me. Remember? You jump off your chair, and you said, "Oh, what am I supposed to do? Jump for joy?" Just like I said before. No, I didn't want you to jump for joy. I just wanted you to at least say, "Yeah, sure, that'd be okay. That'd be an idea. I could do that for Steve." But no. I expected that. I expected more from you than, yeah. I expected from you, who the guy I thought, the guy you used to be, and when we used to be on Skype, me and you used to talk for hours, David. You've changed a lot since those days, let me tell you. You become so self-centered and selfish. It's incredible. All I ask is once in a while. No. No, you had to find a way during that month that we've been waiting for the money when you came in. When you came in June, no, on the 2nd of May, you drop off the money, you must have said to yourself, I know what to do. I know, Donald. I'll set him off. I'll piss him off. He'll avoid me, so that way I won't have to do fuck all. He's a sucker. Fuck him. Fuck Steve. Huh? I don't want to think for myself. I think of him. It's 7 o'clock in the morning right now. But no, David. You're the selfish prick. You're the selfish one who only think of his ass. I think about what Steve many times in Quebec he used to say to me. You know, I would like for David and Denny to sometimes look after me. You know, to pay some attention, and he was talking like that. You know, I can count how many fucking time he told me that. Even years before that. Even when the old lady used to live at the Rousselier, Stevie used to tell me that. I'm telling you, you think it don't bother me? You think it don't hurt? He's wishing that his brothers could, show him some attention, take him out. Don't you see, David, how I think of Steve? You don't think of Steve that way. I don't see it. Did you ever once in the first, right after the old lady died, in that year and a half, ever offered, when I was living with Joe, just the first year in that little apartment, have you ever even offered, hey Donald, I'm gonna pick up Steve for the weekend or for a few days, so that way it gives you a rest and a little break and all that? It never crossed your mind now, did it, David? And I'm supposed to be like the bonhomme? If I was like the bonhomme, David, I wouldn't think of Steve that way. I'd be like you. Think about my own ass and what I need. Who gives a fuck what everybody else needs? As long as I get what I want. Huh, David? Don't that remind you of somebody? Take a look at a mirror. I'm talking about you. You're the one that's more like the bottom than I am. And when you did pick them up, I got something to say about that one. Remember when you picked them up, and sometime in 2016, after I moved in this place, a few months later, you came and picked them up for 24 hours. When, at the same time, you showed me your kid's new car. The Oldsmobile, whatever. The classic car. Okay? And when you came and picked them up, you and Bridget, you came and picked them up for 24 hours. I'd like to know something, David. I would like to ask you right in front of your fucking face, but you would cut me off before I even finished the question and get mad and turn things around in my fucking face like it doesn't touch you. I want to fucking know if you got the fucking guts to tell me in my fucking face the answer of this question. I would love to know. Two reasons why I think that you did pick up Steve here in 2016 for 24 hours. We took him to the auditorium or something. Reason number one, I think that why you pick up Steve is just for you and Bridget to stick your fucking noses in my fucking business to make sure that Stevie is happy with me. Like you really give a fuck. Really. Which you don't. Reason number two. After Steve got back, after you brought him after 24 hours later, and you left, I didn't ask Steve any question. Steve came up to me and said one thing. David asked me, David was sitting in the kitchen having two bottles of beers, and Bridget went upstairs. After Bridget went upstairs, David asked me if Ma put life insurance on me. In other words, Stevie told me that you asked Steve if the old lady put life insurance on him. Why in the world, David, would you ask Steve a fucking question like that? Why? If anybody would know a question like that, and the answer to that question would be you. That if the old lady did put life insurance on him, you would be the first to know by the old lady. Are you so money crazy that you would ask Steve a question like that? And did you pick up Steve only to ask Steve if the old lady put life insurance on him to be sure that he doesn't, so that way, within that 24 hours, you and Bridget would go with Steve somewhere to go and put life insurance on his life without me or anybody else in the family knows about it. So that way, if ever something does happen to Steve and he does pass away, you would collect a humongous payday and celebrate Stevie's death without anybody knowing that you just got richer on Stevie's life. Right? Is that it, David? I really would have loved to know. Why would you ask him a question like that? Till this day, I still didn't ask Steve if you put life insurance on him. I would like to know it from you. You and Bridget. Are you so crazy for money that you would do something like that? And I'm supposed to be the asshole? I'm supposed to be like the Bonhomme? Man, you make the fucking Bonhomme look good. If you did something like that, you're the worst fucking lowlife there is, man. And you're supposed to be so perfect. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. David and Mrs. Bridget. You people disgust me. If you did something like that, it's on your fucking conscience. If you could live with yourself by doing something like that, I don't say you did. I didn't say you did it. But it's a one hell of a good possibility, isn't it? Right? Give me a second. Anyway. Now you want... maybe now that you are in charge of Steve now, maybe you're not going to find it so fucking funny. Remember David and Bridget? I'm sure, Bridget, that David said to you this many times. And you said that to Bridget in front of me one time. The reason me and Steve, Bridget, we don't have that connection, like you and Steve, David. You said that to Bridget. The reason me and Steve, we don't work out, because we don't have the connection like Donald and Steve does. That's true. Me and Steve, we do have a connection. Because I've always been there for Steve. Can't deny it. I think that what pisses you off when I talk about that. It makes you look like a fucking selfish prick. And you feel bad about it. Inside you, if you have a little heart, I could understand why you would feel bad. if you have a conscience, which I don't think you do. You know, but the thing is, the reason you and Steve don't have any connection, I'll tell you, and the truth is, and it's in your fucking face right now. The reason why Bridget and David, the reason David has no connection with Steve, David has never ever bothered to try. Stevie was always put aside. Right, David? Admit it. If you are a real man like you think you are, admit it. You never bothered to try to have a connection with Steve. Even with Denny. Denny has no more connection than you have. He's always, yeah. So all you can say to Steve is, yeah. You can't even try to have a conversation with him. Then he seems to feel uneasy around Steve. Just like you. But you are worse. You're worse, David. You got no patience around Steve. Remember one time Bridget had to tell you, Stevie was trying to talk to you at the kitchen table. Bridget had to say to you, see, David, Stevie's trying to talk to you. And you said to Bridget, He's always repeating himself. And Bridget, at least you had enough sense to say to David, oh, come on, he's your brother. The thing, David, if you can't even stand Steve trying to talk to you, because he always repeats himself, and it gets on your fucking nerves. How do you think things are gonna be between you and Steve and Bridget and everybody else in the house when Stevie annoys you that much? Admit it. That's just different between you and me, David. I could admit mistakes and stupid things I did in my fucking life. When I see people talk about, the DPC a pris mis enfants, you know, or they don't want to know, or they don't want other people to know, and I know about it, I said, that's not be ashamed, bro. No. You get travailleur social on your ass. You got a problem? This is what you do. You fix the problem. I had trouble with the DPG and all that. I'm not afraid to admit it. I tell people. I did mistakes. I'm not talking about what like that Bonhomme used to do to us. No, far from that. I don't hide it from people. If I could admit to some fucking thing like that, know what I mean? To anybody, I got nothing to hide. If I could admit to something like that, I could admit to anything. I got nothing to hide. I know my faults. Sure, I had things to change, and I changed it. And I did. You know what? I'm glad it did happen at the time. And I was glad. Should I be ashamed of it? No. Unlike you, David, I'm not afraid to tell my faults or the mistakes that I have done. I could admit my wrongs. But the thing is, I could admit I'm wrong, things that I've done wrong, and at least I worked on it to change. But you won't admit to nothing. Because you think you're above everybody. Like I said before, you're so used to getting your way what you want, even from Bridget. Right? Like, how many times you told me? A few times you told me. One time in the garage, around the time when I asked you for the money, the 1,500 in 2016. You told me, oh, you know what? A lot of time I borrow money from Bridget. And she give me the money, but I never pay her back. Hey, that's pretty good, huh? In other words, you're taking Bridget for a sucker, right? I don't do that to people. When I borrow something, I give it back. I don't laugh in their back and go, hey, it's not bad, huh? That's money. I don't give it back. Well, how many times you said to me, David, you know what? A lot of time I don't tell Bridget. I never tell Bridget this. But when I want something, I get it. What I want, what I need, I get it. And that's it. Sometimes when I see something I want, and I get caught, and Bridget finds out, and Bridget says to me, hey, what is this? You know, hey, where'd that come from? Where'd you buy this? And if something is worth, we'll say $200. And you said to me, I tell her I could pay a quarter of the price. Oh, I pay half price. You know what, Donald? It's not even true. I bought it because I want it. And Bridget, she don't know nothing. It doesn't matter. As long as I get what I want, right? How many times you told me that? How many times you said, I do that all the time. See how you use people? You even use Bridget. You laugh at Bridget when you do stuff like that. I couldn't do that to Jose. He was straight out. When I wanted something, I don't go behind her back and say, I wanted this, I wanted that, but I only pay half price or a quarter of the price. But really, I paid the whole fucking thing, the full price. I don't tell Jose. I could never do that. I could never. I got a conscience. But you have no conscience. You're laughing at Bridget. Remember what said to me many times. Me with Bridget, it's my way or the fucking highway. We will split it a few fucking times because of that. Right? See, you must have what you must have. David must get what he wants at all costs. David is never wrong. He must not be wrong. David must never ever admit that he made mistakes in his life. It's always the other guy. It's always Donald's fault. It's always the Banam. It's always the old lady. It's always Steve's fault. It's Steve's fault. Meet him, we had no connection. You know what I call that, David? Being a real yellow. You know what yellow is? A coward. Who is just like the Banam. Always blame everybody else instead of blaming himself for what he does to others. And you call me You have the nerve to call me? I'm like the Banam? Take a look at a mirror, David. You are the Banam number 2. That's why you are looking after Steve for good. You said you didn't have that connection? Well, now it's time for you to make the connection. You think I'm a fucking idiot. You have no respect for me. No. Maybe by you taking my fucking place, maybe, just maybe, after a little while, you would say to yourself, you know what? It's not as easy as I thought it was. Especially if you and Steve had no connection and you can't even stand Steve talking to you without saying, like to Bridget, he gets on my nerves, he always repeating himself. And Bridget, like I said before, has enough sense to say to you, well, come on, he's your brother. I'll give you that, Bridget. You got more common sense and heart that you could think about Steve. And David think about his own fucking ass, because Mr. David don't like Steve talking to him because Stevie repeats himself. And I'm the one that's supposed to be an asshole? Take a look in a mirror. It's not easy for me to make the decision, David, to give Steve away to you. It's not easy. But you give me no choice. Especially when you said, I'm just like the Banam. Me? Like I said, if anybody is like the Banam, it's you. You can admit you're wrong. Just like the Banam used to do when he was living in Montreal housing. Nobody can do anything to me. Nobody can throw me out. No matter how much I put the music loud. I am a Villeneuve. I am Armand Wilfrid Villeneuve. You are doing exactly what the Banam used to do. If anybody, like I said, if anybody's like the Banam, it's you. So that's to give you a lot of reason why I am giving up Steve and leaving him up to you. To give you a little taste of the responsibility, what is the responsibility that's on your shoulders and off mine. Not because I want it. It's just to show you, David. It's easy to say, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's only him. It's only Donald. Fuck him. Doesn't matter what it doesn't matter if he sacrificed his relationship with Jose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he goes through. It doesn't matter if I go to his house and disrespect him just to piss him off, so that way me, David, I won't have to do my part. It doesn't matter what he's going through. You think it was easy after you did what you did here? Think I need that? Jose just left me and all that. Think it was easy to do all that? Alone? Deal with that? Try to have a smile on my fucking face while trying to show Steve, oh, nothing wrong, everything's okay. Nothing wrong with me, Steve. Ha 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 ha. When his back is turned, the heart is in pain, man. You think it didn't hurt me by just doing what you did here? You don't give a shit. You got what you want. That's the way I see it. Because you sure hell didn't offer even a phone call during the first year and a half. Hey, I could pick up Steve for the weekend or anything like that. It never crossed your fucking mind. But when I did mention it, like I said before, when I did mention it in 2016, of April 2016, when after I talked to you about the 2005, like I said before, I know I repeat, but I want to get it through your fucking thick head. It wouldn't be nice if you do your part, and then he would do his. I don't want you to jump for joy, like you said. Like you went nuts, jumping off your chair. Yeah, what do you expect me to do? Jump up and yell, yeah, I'm so happy. Like you're trying to mock me? No, all I want from you cocksucker. You listen to me, you little fucking prick. I think about that fucking part where you sit and you jump off. What do you expect me to do? Jump for joy? Like I said, you listen to me, you little cocksucker. All I wanted from you is, like I said, and from Denny, once in a while you do your fucking part. But you didn't even want that. Guess what? Steve is not normal enough for you. Let me tell you another thing. Hey, Bridget, I hope the fuck you are listening too. Get this in your fucking skull too, Bridget. I got a question for you both. I would love to ask you that question face to face, but you wouldn't. Any of you would give me the time to even finish the question. You wouldn't even let me finish the question, and you would try to turn things around against me. Fuck you. This is the question I would like you to answer. If you got the guts to face me. What would you do, Bridget, if Alec was born exactly like Steve? What would you do, Bridget? Or you, David? If you realize in the future a few months later or a year later that Alec is exactly like Steve, what would you do? Would you throw him away? Will you give him up to the orphanage? Or would you just throw him out in a garbage can or in a garbage bag like many people you hear that they do today? Because their kids are deformed or they're not normal. You throw them out in garbage bags. Would you do that? Because he's not perfect? I would love for you to answer that question. What would you do? Never thought of that one, huh? I thought of it. And what would you do, Bridget, if you had a brother just like Steve? Would you spend your life doing like David, avoiding him from this size till he got too adult to avoid him? So ask David, when has he ever spent one fucking day going out with Steve? If David got any balls, he would admit it, that he has never done it and never bothered to, because his friends was more important. His clubs, going out in discotheque and drinking with the boys and drinking with the old man and Jim was more important than spending some time with Steve. I was always there. The only time Denny was there when I was there, me, Denny, and Steve. When the last time you, Denny, has ever taken Steve out alone? You too. Not all on David, but you too, Denny. Jim, I can't say a fucking word because he's a fucking total loser. You never bother with nobody. You never help anybody for nothing. Useless. He's the one who he's the one who was always outside their family. He put himself there. He spent his life that way. That's his fucking problem. You bought him some bikes, David. You try to help him out. I try to help him out. I gave him coats and a couple of bikes myself. And some money, some cash, and some cigarettes. But the only time he came to see me is when he wanted something. Something like you, David. Oh, you're very nice to me when you want something. But once you got what you want, it's fuck you. Who cares what I promised you about your tires? I want you, Donald, to call me back and kiss my ass for it. Yeah, Donald, I want you to kiss my ass so that way I will feel important. Yeah, Donald's kissing my ass for something that I already promised him. See, David, your word is jack shit. That's what I was trying to say to you on your fucking staircase, but you never let me the chance to tell you all this. That's why I'm making this DVD and shoving Steve in your fucking face. You're probably not watching all of this video because you don't want to hear the truth. You must have turned me off about the first 3 minutes of this video started because you're scared. So that's why I drop off Steve at your house to give you a fucking wake-up call. You didn't. I asked him nice in 2016 to do your fucking part. You didn't even offer me before that, when the first year and a half when I did have Steve, right after the old lady died, that first year. You never bothered to offer. It never crossed your fucking mind. But when I mentioned it in 2016, of April of 2016, when I went and see you for the 2005, you didn't like that. That proves my point. So, this video is over. I said what I had to say. Whether you like it or not. All you had to do, David, is not jump up and yell, okay, I'm going to be happy. Like you try to mock me on your fucking doorstep, you fucking cocksucker. And lose respect and don't even let me have the chance to say what I had to say. You change the subject right away, right after your kid call. I'll talk about your phone and you talk about something else and then yeah. Like you kind of had the last word with me, like calling me. Oh, well, you just like the Bonhomme. After that, your fucking phone call. After Alex called you, you changed the whole conversation. We sat in the back. I knew you didn't want to say nothing, but I didn't forget what you said. I don't forget. And when I went and you wanted to fix the car, I left you the car short. And I thought of it during the night. I said, no, I don't want him to help to give me to fix my brakes. I'll make believe. I'll make believe. I'll do like David does. He lies. Oh, I'll lie to him. I'll make believe. Oh, there's a guy I know who lives in a block. He's gonna fix my brakes. For nothing because I help him move. That's all bullshit. That's because I didn't want nothing from you. I don't want nothing from you. But the only thing I did want it is for Steve, not for me, for him. To give him what he wanted. Some of your attention. I realized that you didn't want it. You didn't want to bother with Steve. Okay. So the next morning, I wanted to see you. I said to you, well, I got somebody to fix the brakes on the back. It's all bullshit. Like I said, I don't want nothing from you, man. If I was dying on a fucking street, I wouldn't want you to touch me to save me. I told you I figured I got kidney problem. Let me tell you something, David. I think I do. Eventually it's gonna get worse. I think. If it is that, sure fucking looks that way. But if I was fucking dying, which sometimes I kind of wish I was, for one reason. If I was dying, you would have to look after Steve. I would live long enough, just long enough to see you look after him. But why should I wait till that point? That could be years from now. I thought about that for a long time. And after you said what you said, you tell me I'm just like the bottom. That was it. You gave me no choice but to give you my place, man. Why should I wait until I'm fucking dying? And if I was, and they said, well, you need a kidney transplant, and you would offer you yours, because you got two, in case you didn't know. You could live with one, just like a person who has two. You know what, David? I'd rather die than to have anything that you would offer me. I'd rather suffer. Man, I mean that like you wouldn't fucking believe. 'Cause you're so selfish. You're so perfect. You're better than anybody. You don't see yourself that way. 'Cause you're out, you're in it. You don't see what you do to others. You're unfeeling. Oh, David cares about David, and that's it. What David and his family must have, and that's it. You live in a fucking perfect bubble. Well, David, I just bust your fucking bubble, because you are looking after Steve. And one more last thing before I leave. Now that I dropped them off, you and Bridget and your kids, treat Steve right. Stevie is not your servant. If your dogs needs their shit to be picking up, pick up your own fucking dog shit. He's not your fucking dog picker shitter. You know what I mean? Pick up your own goddamn dog shit. He's not your fucking servant, like I said. And do like I do. Where you go, David, he goes. Don't let your kids and Bridget look after Steve while you're spending a week away from Steve in your fucking fancy ass chalet. And you better treat him right. Because if you don't, trust me, you're not gonna like me. You don't like me now. Trust me, and you're not gonna like me after. Treat Steve with respect like I do. I never yell at Steve. I got no reason to. Stevie wouldn't hurt a fly. It doesn't take much to make him happy. All they wanted was all I wanted him was to be happy and spend time with you, but he did everything to piss me off, to I guess before you knew exactly how to push my buttons, so that way I would ignore you, I would be pissed off at you. And I'm sure after you left here, you went home, I know he's pissed off at me. He's gonna avoid me. I'm free from Steve. I don't have to do nothing. Donald's pissed off at me. Yeah. But there's no more of that now. No more for taking me for granted like I'm some fucking idiot. Now it's time for you to do your part and bridge it. We'll see how your relationship is going to work out. Yeah, sure it's going to work out pretty good. Because you got a lot of room. Put the whole gang of you live in a front room. Or half of you, not even a quarter of your front room. A quarter. And that would be the apartment with me, Steve, and Jose at the time. Try to live like that for a fucking year. Well, you don't care. Bridget used to say to me, Bridget said to me one time, you know what, David really cares about the family. You know what, Bridget? That's the most full of shit thing you've ever said. When you said that, inside of me, I would laugh my fucking ass off. This guy, she don't know David. He's a fucking joke. David's a fucking joke. David cares about David, and that's it. Anyway, I'm gonna cut this shit off. So good luck with Steve. You're gonna need it. So that's it. I said enough. And what can I say? You forced me to do this. Calling me. I'm just like the bottom. I got one last thing to say to you, David and Bridget. If you really think that way of me, which I believe you do, I got only one fucking thing to say left. Fuck you. Ain't payback's a bitch. Live with it. Whatever happens to Steve, it's your fucking fault. You better treat him right, or else. Trust me, you're not gonna like me. Be nice. Good luck with Steve, because you're gonna need it. Goodbye, suckers.